Welcome, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon. It is Tuesday, September 16th, and this is Training Wheels offered through an open door in which we explore one of the daily lessons of A Course in Miracles. And today we are on lesson 50, which is a bit of a landmark here because the next lessons are review lessons, which I probably will skip over and just take us right on into the next full single lesson, just so you'll know that. But I will begin the way we always do, by reading the first 50 lessons. And this is probably the last time that I will do that for a while. I'll take a little bit of a break from reading them, but so enjoy the first 50 lessons. And then after that, I'll just read a little bit, and then you can keep your screen on or off. I'll turn mine off. But then we can have a little bit of discussion about what sustains us, especially in these times. I think that we're coming into times where what sustains us, knowing what sustains us, will be very important to us. So I'm going to turn my screen off, settle in, and just be present where you are. This is the only moment that we have. So settle in, be comfortable, and just open, even though it's fairly early in the morning here, and maybe the afternoon where you are. Try to just let go of everything that you have accumulated in your field up until this moment. Nothing I see means anything. I've given everything I see all the meaning it has for me. I do not understand anything I see. These thoughts do not mean anything. I'm never upset for the reasons I think. I'm upset because I see something that is not there. I see only the past. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I see nothing as it is now. My thoughts do not mean anything. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. And I'm upset because I see a meaningless world. A meaningless world engenders fear. God did not create a meaningless world. My thoughts are images I have made. I have no neutral thoughts. I see no neutral things. And I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing, and I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. I am determined to see. I am determined to see things differently. What I see is a form of vengeance. I can escape from this world that I see by giving up attack thoughts. I do not perceive my own best interests. I do not know what anything is for. My attack thoughts are attacking my own invulnerability. Above all else, I want to see. Above all else, I want to see things differently. God is in everything I see. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. I am not a victim of the world I see. I have invented the world I see. There is another way of looking at the world. I could see peace instead of this. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. My holiness envelops everything I see. My holiness blesses the world. There's nothing my holiness cannot do. My holiness is my salvation. I am blessed as a son of God. God goes with me wherever I go. God is my strength, and vision is God's gift. God is my source. I cannot see apart from God. God is the light in which I see, and God is the mind with which I think. God is the love in which I forgive. God is the strength in which I trust. There is nothing to fear. God's voice speaks to me all through the day. I am sustained by the love of my Creator. I am sustained by the love of my Creator. Spirit vibrates at the highest multi-dimensional frequency. The physical form, as we inhabit it now, cannot hold the highest frequency. It simply cannot contain it. All the wind cannot fit into the jar. We are always looking for ways to get more wind into the jar. We do this by giving to get. We do this by exchanging energy with other people, and you know exactly how this goes. You give me your energy when I am lacking, when I am depleted somehow. And then I share mine with you at a later date when you need it. I compliment you. I defend you. I take your side. I do you a favor. I pay attention to you. Money, influence, prestige, wearing the right clothes, or knowing the right people. All of these are attempts to maintain and obtain more wind in the jar. All of these quote-unquote energy sources have one thing in common. They do not last, and they feed the ego rather than the spirit. The ego can never be completely satisfied by these exchanges, so it is constantly looking to be refilled. How often have you been in a relationship in which you felt so filled by the other person, so in love with them, and so they give you all of themselves, and then you give them all of yourself. But every time we put water or spirit into the other person's jar, a little spills out. And slowly, over time, we find that the other person doesn't fill us up the way they used to. Choosing the ego's method to fill the jar cannot make you happy. The ego is a very leaky jar. It doesn't hold anything that is put into it. On this basis alone, the ego's value should be questioned. There's only one source, only one that offers complete and never-ending energy. Energy that requires no bartering and no exchange. This energy is a perfect match for spirit, and it fulfills completely, and you already have it. Source, love, God, all that is, the absolute, the infinite absolute. This is the unending energy from which all creation moves, out of which it moves and manifests. It is the wind itself. Do not rely on the energy of those who do not yet know their own source of energy. Do not seek to get their energy to fulfill you. It will never last. You cannot fill yourself with illusions of love or faith or commitment based on the ego's gratification or conditions for exchange, because only Source sustains endlessly and without condition. Source is an eternal battery. It never runs out. It is true that there are forms of energy that seem to sustain us. How many people do you know that are always angry, always in resistance, always resentful, always in judgment, always pushing against what is? This is a false form of energy. It can feel real to the ego, pushing against, denying, saying no to. It's like walking upstream. You can feel the water moving against your legs. You can feel the wind on your face, but it's exhausting. What truly sustains is to lie down in the river and let it carry, and to trust that wherever it takes you is perfect for you. Does this world sustain you? What form does your sustenance take? Does it last? The lesson for today asks you to sit for 10 minutes twice a day and just inquire what sustains you. Explore it. And then come to the words of the lesson. I am sustained by the love of my Creator. You don't have to follow the guides to know that we are entering turbulent waters. It is not going to get easier. The past is gone. We are entering new territory. What will sustain you? How will you sustain others? And should you? Is it your job? Whether you choose to sustain another or not, make sure that what you are using is the love of God. There is no effort here in the love of God. In fact, the sustenance of God simply requires us to allow to get out of the way. Everything is for me. Nothing is stupid. It is all for everything and everyone. When you're ready, take a couple of breaths and let's come back and talk about what sustains us. We don't usually talk politics on these Zoom calls, and I don't mean to do that this morning, but I will admit that when I read that the administration was going to start coming after liberal groups and liberal voices, it did hit me in a new way. I realized that this rabbit hole that so many are going down is going to be deep. And so there will be much consternation and much gnashing of teeth and much accusation back and forth. And so we must sustain ourselves with the truth. And teach only love, for that is what we are. And that's really all I have to say about this lesson. And that's all I have to say. Except that I so appreciate each and every one of you. And beloved Cindy, who has put this together. I was thinking the other day about how grateful I am to have been with this group of people when Cindy first started to question whether she wanted to remain doing what she was doing. And she put herself out, not knowing what the heck would happen. And she trusted in this lesson that she would be sustained by the love of God. And I trusted too, right? I trusted in myself for Cindy and for myself. And what a blessing it has been. We're going to start, we're going to do a weekend, this weekend, a half a day. I'm just moved to say this. I didn't plan to say this. We could talk about it on Thursday when we talk about the interview that we watched that had too many ads in it, I thought, but it was fine. We are sustained by the love of God, but we also in this world need financial sustaining. And so if you can make a commitment to an open door, I encourage you to do so. If you haven't already, and if you can't, that's fine. That's just fine. But keep it in your heart and your mind. Because Cindy works every day, all day, for us. She does the heavy lifting. She does the thinking. She does the planning. She does the accounting. She does the deciding. We just get to show up. So we are all sustained by the love of God. And in this world, that and a few other things are helpful. So thank you. That's it for me. Now I will be quiet. Cindy.
It's no one speaking. Seen by the love of God. I had a realization during the diet this morning. I'd like to put it in words. Um, and Amy knows I'm about to go and spend $1,000 from an open door this afternoon and buy a computer that's not falling apart. And it's scary. I'm feeling scared. But I'm gonna do it anyway. Ron said that. Um, so here was the realization. There's been this I've been motivated to spend time during the diet to rest in the heart center. That's just those verbs, right? So there is an intention, and an intention isn't form. Attention is a real recognition that attention has no form, right? Intention, attention. If you ask me to like really tell you how I know what I'm about to say, I won't be able to, but I know that the heart center has no form. You know, when I was looking at it after this realization, I was like, maybe it's like an energy portal or something. It has no form. So intention has no form, attention has no form, the ability to rest in the heart center, none of that has form. God is consciousness, that is all formless. So, and I was saying to my dyad partner afterwards, Cindy isn't the average Joe. Pretty much everything she does, how she creates a vocation through people's donations and teaching, is all based on an acceptance of that truth. So it's not like I do a diet and then I get up and I go sell t-shirts. It's not, you know, I don't really, and even, the kids laugh. They say all their friends know that their mother breathes through her feet. So I'm a walking billboard for this stuff, right? But then, and this is what happens is then I go and I begin to attempt to rest in the heart center, and there are physical sensations that continually push me out. And the thinking mind tells me it's because there's a problem with the shoulder, there's something going on with the diaphragm. Like it continually tells me that the form, that the form is limiting my ability to rest in the heart center. And it struck me for the very first time today how ridiculous that sounds. Not that the form is or isn't, but I was like, logically, that would mean A, that there is a form more powerful than consciousness or God or the universe. And I don't like, no, none of me consciously believes that. And my experience of life would indicate that that can't be true. So that's number one. And number two, even that there is a form, like that would also indicate that there's a form here that's something other than consciousness. So that somehow there's a form or a body that is separate from the formless, that has a life of its own, and that it's somehow more powerful and can say no to the formless. And none of me consciously believes that is true. And so then, because of yesterday, I want to say because of yesterday. And if you haven't listened to all the amazing things that happened yesterday, go ahead and do that. So I said, so why, when I set the intention to rest in the heart center, there's this big physical experience and it feels like I'm being pushed out over and over and over again? And the answer was um, because you're simply reflecting the belief in separation. Like there is an idea that is being experienced, a reflection of an idea of a body that is separate. That's it. It's as simple as everything we talked about yesterday. And then in my writing, which will be up on the blog at some point today, I said, so what now? Right? And then all I heard was laughter. And the only thing that was written to the answer was a smile. Because just being aware, like I am sustained by the love of God. I believe that with every conscious breath, every conscious breath. I believe that I am sustained by the love of God. This awareness this morning said there are things other than the conscious. There is an other than conscious belief playing out here, that form somehow is separate from God, has its own rules separate from God, and can block the love of God. That's what I saw in this simple experience this morning of of the quote unquote attempt to simply rest in the heart center. I am sustained by the love of God. I am. Sandra told me that everything in the Course in Miracles is true. I don't know why I've been studying the Course for so many years, right? And it was just it was more than fluff, right? But somehow when Sandra told me a couple of times that it was true, I believed her, whoever she is, me, right? But somehow it's different now. I am sustained by the love of God. The love of God is everything. So even if for the next year I'm still pushed out when I set the intention to rest in the heart center, it doesn't matter. It's what the Divine Mother wants. It's because the Divine Mother knows this is the fastest way of the ladder. But anyway, that's part of what's going on here that I didn't know I was going to talk, but nobody else raised their hand. And please come on Sunday. Yes, I'd love, if you turn around and flow money into it, it will be a demonstration of me going out and spending $1,000 for an open door is a good thing. But even if you don't have a dime, I don't pay a lot of attention to it. I want you here. I love that you're here. All right, Amy, that's what I have to say.
Thank you, Cindy. Alka, I love the color of your sweater. Oh, my goodness.
Thank you. Well, autumn is here. Stop wearing my summer clothes now. Thank you. There are several things, but the first one I'll say is what sustains me is my faith in the divine. That has sustained me over everything that has happened, up and down and whatever. My faith in the divine has always sustained me. And the second thing I was going to say, that the list you read about, have you ever met people who are, I don't know, resistant, angry, whatever? And I thought, me, to every single one of them. It was, I see all those qualities have been in me. I'm trying to work them out of, I'm aware of them now so that they are not so persistent, but every single one of them was me. And the third thing, when Cindy was talking about the form and formless, I was reading this text, Tripura Rahasya, where, there's this famous Indian thing, the snake and the rope thing when you miss. So he was saying that once you realize that the snake is the rope, there is still always a danger of you slipping back into taking the rope for a snake till you realize that the rope is of the self. And that's when there's no more danger of slipping into this snake or rope type of thing. And this similar thing came to me when you were talking about the body and you slipping in and out and the body pushing you in and out. It's sort of that thing came to me straight away. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Wow. That was beautiful, Alka. When we say, I am sustained by the love of God, it's possible for us to look beyond at just ourself, at the entire kingdom around us, and include that in the I, which I think is what Alka was in a sense saying. It's all me. All of it is God, and none of it is not. The world is in me. The snake is in me. The rope is in me. It's all the I am principle, the absolute. Rana, good to see you this morning.
Good to be seen. Grateful to be here. I'm inspired to say that our gatherings, I feel my vibration raise. There's just, I mean, a real visceral sense of it, you know, and even if I've got my camera off and my son is like sort of talking to me and I'm not, just being amongst you is such a gift. And it sustains me. The community, the unity of communication that we have here, and the ability to express concerns that we have, you know, in our own world. It's, I mean, the movie's happening, you know. But it not only sustains me when I'm in this presence, but there's carryover. I had a fabulous conversation with one of us prior to this meeting this morning. And I even said to them, I feel like I have a shot at hitting 600 on Dr. Hawkins' scale today. And we laughed and we loved on Richard from afar. Each one of you, even if you don't speak or show your camera, each one of you has brought such richness to the life here. When I first started hanging around here, I would hear so many of you, especially my dear friend Cindy, say, the truth is true. And the mind would be like, what the F is the truth? What does that mean? And like nobody wanted to really answer that question specifically. And I was so glad they didn't, right? Because that would have put it in a box. I was invited to explore what that means. What it means is it works, it really does. It means that if I am willing to remember the discussions that we have in here as I go about this worldly day, if I remember those, I can allow the world to flow through. I can let my heart break. I have a dear friend in my recovery program right now who just is not right because of what's going on in the world. And I want to say that this person does not define themselves as a liberal. This person defines themselves from the other camp. And my heart is breaking for my dear friend who can hardly share or turn his camera on right now. And when I sent him a message this morning, I miss you, because I usually see him every single morning at 8:00. I said, I miss you, and I hope you're okay. And the other thing I said was, if you need a neutral listening ear, I am willing to sit and listen to whatever is coming from your heart today with no response. And I feel like that's the service I can be to someone I love so deeply. And he is seemingly so hurting right now. So that's the world's story. But what can be done? I can pull back and rest and accept and trust and do nothing What I was guided to send in a text was what was to be done. And now we leave it there. He responded, "Thank you so much. I know you're always there for me." But my heart really hurts for all camps right now. It really hurts. And it's interesting because there's no preference or opinion here about what happened in the world. I don't fucking care. The world's insane. This is just one more thing. What I care about is the people I interact with on a daily basis and being available and to pray for peace and courage and all those things and stillness. That's my job, is to sink into stillness, not to fix the world or complain about it or any of that. I don't know what anything is for, people. I just don't. And it's interesting because sometimes people want you to pick sides. And I don't feel it's necessary to pick a side. I can love them all. Anybody that's coming into my mind this past week because of my dear friend Sandra, I don't question why they've come into my mind or go down the rabbit hole. I bless them. And then you know what? It disappears and something else pops up. And I bless that too. Thank you for allowing me to share what's coming up for me today. My heart hurts. But that's okay, because I get to experience this too. Thanks.
Exactly. Exactly. I see Sandra's hand up. Before I call on you, I just want to say one thing. One of the things that I learned from my teacher who spoke about the wind in the jar was that there can be a sense of power and energy in resistance. It can be resistance to what is, it can be resistance to another group, to an idea. It doesn't matter what it is. But the act of resistance, emotional resistance, gives us a charge. And it's very easy to mistake that charge for control and for energy and for something meaningful. Because it defines, it creates a fence against which I can measure. It creates an identity. And oftentimes there are other people with me in that resistance. And boy, doesn't that give me a charge. Now we're together, right? Now we're a group, and now we know we're right. And that resistance can be highly motivating and highly energizing, but ultimately it only drains us. It gets its energy physically in the body from the adrenal glands because it's really actually stressful. It's actually a parasitic form of energy. It drains, it doesn't sustain. But oh, the ego is sustained by it. It does love it. So one of the early lessons, I think, is to be able to see which energy you're using, which energy is present. Is it the energy of resistance? Is it the energy of the ego belonging to something, a righteous idea? Or is it the energy of that comes that's so gentle? The voice for God is still. It is quiet, and yet it is unendingly there. And that is exactly what the energy feels like. It's gentle, it's quiet, and it's unendingly there. It's as certain as it can be. So in these times, that's what we can offer, as Rana just explained beautifully. But there's going to be a lot of the other kind of energy. And we have to be aware of whether we're feeding it or not within ourselves, with other people, and with our community. So, Sandra, I'm talking in your left ear here. And then Alice. Thank you, Alice.
Wow, this has been such an amazing experience being here with each of you and all of you. Thank you. And I can hardly remember what what I was prompted to say. It's such a, I'll just trust words will come. It's such an amazing, glorious experience to be embodied while knowing the truth of who we are. And so I respond to what Cindy was saying earlier about being pulled out, pulled in, knowing that I can accept all of it, even the that this is a gift, this experience of life, and as an extension, as an embodiment of divine being, and knowing it. And that's how we're also blessed, that we know it. And it's just filled with this beautiful emotion of love right now, and communion with you. And when I was first asked by you, Amy, what sustains me, and I was thinking, I am sustained by the love of God. I mean, there were all of those lessons. God is the strength, God is my strength, God is my vision. All of those are sustaining to the aspect of me that is a formed personality, an idea, whatever it is. All of it is very calming, nurturing. And then there's something even more than that. I am sustained because I am the love of God. I am the strength in which I move. I am the light that is shining. I am that. We are that. And when that slips, I don't know the word, when that like leaks into the personality, and she and they and them, and they all do things. I like when Muji goes like this, they're all doing things. It's okay. And I don't know why it's okay. My left-brained, logical, rational, reasoning self will tell you it's not okay. And yet there is a knowing that it's okay. And that it's all about identity. What am I identifying at in the moment? And more and more and more. There's like, you know how when something's about to explode, there's an override button, like you can override. I can press the override button and I'm back. Whoa, I'm back to the truth of who I am. And more, the strength, the power, whatever we want to call it, it's just glorious. It's like, oh yeah, that's who I am. And when I know that, and when I am in that, abiding in it, marinating in it, soaking in it, when I'm just living in it, I don't have to it's natural. There's no effort to love. And Rana, I have experienced, I think this is why I raised my hand. I was just telling Alice, my friend Alice this morning, that I have lost a friend because I would not engage with her in hate. And I love her. I love her. I miss her. And it started about 6 months ago, and she wouldn't allow me to be neutral in her world. And I understand that. I totally understand it.
Mm.
So this is what she gets to experience. And this is what I get to experience with her, that I can continue to love her. I will admit that I am not into loving certain politicians right now. That's because I'm still having the dualistic experience of being in this body with this mind and these thoughts. And I'm going to allow myself to do that. It's part of the gift, I think. I don't have to let go of that. What Creator created a mind, a body, whatever, and now I'm experiencing it. So, Rana, thank you for your message of love for all. It resonates with me, and I'm grateful to be here with you, all of you. Thank you for loving me. And guess what? I love me.
Thank you, Sandra. There really is no jar, is there? When you realize what you are, there's no jar at all. Alice, you're at the head of the table.
Oh boy. Wow. I want to start with in the hopeful thing. I the hopeful thing was that the egoic jar is leaky. Was those words stood out for me, and I feel like we are. And it's all, one day I realized something like it's all experience. It's just one experience after another in this incarnation or whatever it is. And and I do believe that they're all evolutionary, you know, in the we are sustained by the love of God as all of us, so everything, all things. So, and I'm sort of I'm very grateful to be here with me and Sandy in this little town. you I have I've been walking along with Sandy for a few years now, and so I have come here on via that, and I'm just I'm very grateful. And I think it's just like once I realized that the separation was a sense of separation. We're like, oh, it's not real, it's not real separation. It just seems like a separation. And I often
jot SOS on the edge of things. Like it's the um I'm experiencing the sense of separation in some new form or some new manner. Um, so that helped me to remember oneness and allness and wholeness, and even even when it the sense is seemingly really loud and appearing really actual. So I a lot of so many things I wanted to jot down. I sometimes just want to soak it in, but this was like which energy which energy is it, the resistance um, sustained by the soft everlasting energy or the parasitic. These are all is really helpful for me to sort of bing bang uh, this morning, and I just wanted to share my my gratitude and my reflections. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Alice. That was really nice to hear, and really appreciate your share. Glad that you're here, always. Thank you. Patricia, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. It's so good to be with you all. This whole coming to be with you every day really is wake up. It just fills me. It is delicious. You are delicious. You all are delicious. Each and every one of you. You touch my heart. And what came to mind today, or as I was listening, was something very simple. Do you remember that Quaker song? It's a gift to be simple. It's a gift to be free. Just those words. It's like coming back to the moment, coming back to letting go and the freedom of letting go into, I don't know, into the unknown. I don't know. And yes, my heart is heavy with everything that's going on. And yes, my heart is heavy in the I don't know. Where am I going to live? Blah, blah, blah. All the egoic stuff. But it pertains to the being alive, that dance that Sandra often refers to, the worldly and the divine as one. Can't have one without the other. Which reminds me of another song, which I'm not going to sing. So it's a gift to be simple, and it's a gift to be free. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Well, that's a perfect way to conclude this morning's gathering. It's 11 o'clock, and I really appreciate everything everyone said, and thank you for sharing it. As we will meet again at noon for 12 stepping. Who's leading, Cindy?
I just discovered Cindy was leading. So it's going to be fun to see what happens. Let me stop the recording.